Somebody wrote it and then they deleted their comment, and I'm not sure why, but they were saying, like, look, it's gonna take 10 years between zoning and whatever else to get these new factories built. Because frankly, all the old factories have either been repurposed or are just rotting out, and they probably wouldn't even meet the needs of a current car manufacturing plant. And economists are saying it's 10 to 20 years before, we can turn out enough cars to meet the demand of Americans who need cars. Considering all the cars we have now are so shitty, they're gonna die in 5 to 10 years. Like, most people turn in their lease in 3 years because at 4 years, your car starts going funky, funky, funky. I mean, one, either of these factories are gonna be almost completely robotic, so they will need next to no staff. So, technically, it's bringing manufacturing back to the US, but not as many jobs as they would like to. Like, we hired like 10 coal miners, so like, success, coal mining's back. Like, no. Because you can't have unions with these car factories. You cannot build an affordable car if you're paying $100 an hour per union worker in a shop. And that's nothing against them, but do the math. You think minimum wage makes hamburgers expensive. Woo, buddy. You have no idea what a car is about to cost in the US. I mean, so basically, Americans are going to have to match wages with international workers. I mean, international workers plus shipping, so less than minimum wage. That's going to be fun when they figure that one out. But I think they're off in their estimates on how long it will take the factories to be built, because you forget, we've cut the EPA, we've cut consumer oversight, we've cut regulations. Like, do you think the Trump administration isn't just gonna like rip down Yellowstone if they're like, oh, you know what the best place for an automobile factory would be? Yosemite. Maybe if we just like chop down that Joshua tree and that just be our parking lot, that would be great. If we don't have to do environmental impacts, if we don't have to do like sound studies, if we don't have to worry about pollution and runoff, they can get built a whole lot faster. So what if that smog just, poisons your back garden? Consider all the Bitcoin server farms. All the cooling fans screech to the point that it's driving everybody in the neighborhood crazy. And yet, we're certainly not gonna turn Bitcoin off. Live with the screeching sound, you poor, poor people who live in the area that let this happen. Any future factories built, I would be very nervous to live around because they will have no regulations on them. All the government departments that would oversight to make sure they're safe, to make sure they're not polluting, to make sure they're not drawing unnecessarily. Hell, considering politicians won't show up to have town halls, do you think, local Republican governments are even going to allow hearings for an impact on study on the community? Honestly, 5 years. And less. So many less jobs than you might think. Is it just can't be done at union prices? But seriously, the second you hear a whisper about it, like a Ford plant being built near you, consider moving. Especially if it's like the chip making plant. You wanna go.